I'm Jonah Comstock, Editor-in-Chief at pharmaphorum. I'm here at Bio 2025 in Boston. It's day 3, and I'm joined by Dr. Hanadie Yousef, the CEO and co-founder of Juvena Therapeutics. Thanks for speaking with me today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about Juvena, you guys' kind of your mission, your thesis, and some recent big news of a partnership with Eli Lilly.
Yeah, sure. So at Juvena Therapeutics, we are dedicated to discovering and developing tissue-restorative biologics for chronic age-related diseases, really focused currently on muscle and metabolic diseases. We now have a lead program, a fusion protein, which is dubbed Juv161, which is in many ways, we also have dubbed it the insulin for muscle, that we are developing for the indication of myotonic dystrophy type 1, but with plans to expand to larger indications, including in the future sarcopenia. It's a drug that enhances muscle regeneration, improves muscle metabolism, and over time leads to improvements in strength and function. In regards to a recently announced partnership, Juvena is super excited that we are now in a partnership with Eli Lilly in order to leverage our AI-driven platform that maps proteins secreted by stem cells to identify novel proteins and their targets that can improve muscle health and overall body composition, including when combined with the incretin therapies for weight loss.
So tell me a little bit about this AI platform. Is this something sort of novel in terms of the specific ways people are using AI right now to find targets?
Yeah. I'd say Juvena has a really unique platform, the only of its kind to our knowledge, that is specifically focused on leveraging a variety of AI technologies, as well as quantitative proteomics and multi-omics to unravel the stem cell secretome. We have established our own library of proteins enriched in stem cell secretomes that are enriched for their therapeutic potential across tissues and diseases. They are targeting a variety of mechanisms associated with the biology of aging to promote tissue homeostasis, meaning the health of tissue, and thereby are restorative in nature. And yeah, so I think that is very unique in terms of what we have to offer that other companies are not leveraging in this unique manner.
I feel like I've been hearing a lot about stem cell companies sort of on the fringes here in biotech, almost like it's kind of it's a concept that's on the rise right now. But I know you were on an underdogs panel. What is it about your company that makes you an underdog, or do you feel like one?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we could be considered underdogs from a variety of lenses. First, starting a company that's founder driven, right? Founder driven companies in biotech don't often get the same amount of initial funding and venture capital as, say, venture formed companies where they hire seasoned management teams. So really being founder and scientifically driven, as well as being run, by someone like me who, is, younger than average for a CEO, a woman, a minority. So I think that also kind of puts us in that sort of underdog category. And I think, a lot of biopharma companies are underdogs until they become top dogs, right? In terms of, before you get your first drugs through approval and commercialization, and when you're pre-revenue and sort of, growing and seeking funding for exciting new programs and first-in-class mechanisms, all which is what Juvena is doing.
I know when it comes to regenerative medicine stem cells, supply chain sourcing raw materials is often a challenge. How are you handling that right now, or are you not quite there yet in terms of still being in the development stage?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So for Juvena, what we have done is leveraged primary human stem cells in order to isolate and purify their proteins, and then leverage quantitative proteomics to develop an in silico library of proteins we know that are enriched in stem cells, in human stem cell secretomes, that are enriched for their regenerative or disease modifying potential. But when it comes to manufacturing, we are leveraging the latest in genetic engineering technologies and recombinant DNA technologies in order to mass produce proteins that we test. And so we're also partnered with folks like Biologics that is working with us to really scale up our first protein, Juve161, in a GMP setting in order to test it in clinical studies. And so I think when it comes to manufacturing scale up, so far so good, but there is complexities and difficulties around making very novel secreted proteins, and Juvena is working through that and really kind of making a lot of progress.
So let me ask the question I'm asking to every AI company that I talk to. I don't know if you consider yourselves an AI company, but you're certainly using AI. As AI becomes more commodified and as it becomes more crowded, how do you differentiate? Is it your data? Is it your algorithms? Is it a little bit of each? And how do you make sure that somebody else with the same kind of powerful AI can't come in and do what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say Juvena does have an AI-driven platform for mapping the therapeutic potential of secreted proteins, and we consider now AI as just a critical tool that all biotechs should be using, and I believe most are these days, right? So we use different types of models, architectures, from neural networks through to transformer models and even generative AI to enable us to improve the drug discovery and development process at every stage of the process. From first taking our in silico library and predicting and rank ordering proteins that we think could have disease modifying efficacy for a given tissue or disease target, through to leveraging different type of models that will enable us to also predict, even something as simple as machine learning classifiers that predict non-canonical or really novel proteins that are secreted from a cell, through to models that help quantify preclinical data and animal behavior, through to different types of models that are enabling us to actually take proteins that we generate that are considered hits that we've shown actually work in a tissue restorative manner, and then to actually predict novel sequences based on that protein through generative techniques in order to improve its drug-like properties, right? So for us, AI, is a very broad term, but it's something that we're really integrating into every step of the discovery, screening, preclinical validation, and lead optimization process to get from prediction through to novel drug candidate.
It's a great answer, thanks. We're getting close to time, so just to wrap up, we're into day 3 of the conference. I don't know how long you've been here, but is there anything interesting you've seen or heard? Any sort of trends that you're picking up on going through your mind since you've been here?
Yeah, I think some of the trends that I'm personally very passionate about and have been involved in panel discussions around is in this idea that this now wave of incretin therapies that are becoming blockbuster drugs for treating obesity has really opened the doors towards this idea of treating and even preventing disease and promoting health span and ultimately, hopefully, promoting longevity. So I think that is something that I think is a recurring theme in terms of now companies leveraging the momentum around obesity medications to start considering treatments much more seriously for other major unmet needs like muscle wasting associated with aging, or like different types of diseases that are often comorbidities with obesity, like liver disease, cardiovascular, and others.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciated chatting with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.